Hi YouTube, it's Chris, K2CJB with K2CJB Radio. Welcome back to the channel. And this is the second video in the Prepping Your Field Gear series. And I wrestled with what my next subject was going to be. I was originally going to talk about connectors, cable, and power. But then as I started thinking about it, I think the wisest choice for the next thing to do is to take an inventory of everything that I carry, because I think I need to rethink a lot of that. So we're outside on the porch. It's a beautiful spring day here in Connecticut. Let me show you what I carry with me. So here it all is, all packed up in this green backpack, this 511 backpack. It's got a bunch of stuff in it. We'll go through that. In this fatter tube, this larger PVC tube, is the fiberglass mast that I use for the linked dipole, and also the MFJ vertical with the River Coil in the bottom of it. That other PVC tube is a ground mount that I can put together to hold the fiberglass mast, independently of having to pound it into the ground. And in that case, that Harbor Freight case, is the radio and battery and some other stuff. So let's take a look. So starting with the case, this is a great little Harbor Freight case. It's a Pelican knockoff. Works great for what we use it for. So, and it was, of course, it's a Harbor Freight deal, so you know the price is right. Let's take a look inside the case. And well, first things up, you always carry the equipment manual with you. You never know when you have to look something up. Most of you know that my radio of choice is the Yaesu FT817. I've got this, wow, it's about 2 years now, maybe 3 years I have this radio. And it was an open box deal I got through HRO. It has been rock solid. I love this radio. It's been working great. I use it all the time. Below that, I have a paper log, just in case, you know, when I'm in the field, I don't always use the iPad for logging, so I might just use this as a quick log. External speaker. I do find that the built-in speaker on the 817 is a little lacking, so I use the MFJ 281 speaker. Great sounding speaker, works great for me. In here is a little Morse code paddle kit that I built from MFJ. It's okay. I'm not much of a CW operator, so I mean I have it. If I really feel like trying that in the field, I think I made one Parks on the air contact on CW. I think I do remember making a contact in the field using this, and it worked fine. Here's the microphone for the radio. Attached to the microphone is the Soda Beam's speech processor for the FT817. I've done a series of videos reviewing that and showing how it works. I believe it makes a difference. You know, when you're operating QRP, every little bit helps, right? We also have in here is a pen. I have to throw another pen in there. Got one of these DC voltmeter, amp hour meters, so you can keep monitoring your battery condition as you're operating. The battery you see in here today is the Bioenno. I got this last year before field day. I never used it, believe it or not, for field day. I was running off the SLAs and I never needed it. Here's the amazing thing. Since we moved up here, these things haven't been on charge. This has a full charge, still, from last field day, back in June. We're in April now. And the SLAs, of course, are dead. So that's everything I carry in this case. It's not that heavy to carry around, and I really don't think I could squeeze any more into it. This is the case, I think, where we're going to find the problem of just carrying too much stuff. You know, I think I have a new rule for myself. Nothing should weigh more than my age. Just putting it out there. So here's the first thing. It's a 511 bag, great bag, very sturdy. I've used it for many years, and you wouldn't even know I've been using it. So I've mollied onto the outside of it. I think this is a 6x6 bag that's mollied to the outside of the backpack. Inside this, and it's a perfect fit inside of here, is the N9TAX Slim Jim. It's a 2-meter 440 Slim Jim. Works great. I can't recommend it enough. In the bottom of this little pouch, I've got some adapters that I might need, you know, depending on what HT I'm bringing out in the field with me. You know, the Baofangs are different than the rest of the world, so I have used this. I set it up for field day, and it worked great for me. I was monitoring local repeaters the whole time, and I made a couple of contacts on it. So I think this is kind of a must-have. It's not that heavy anyway, so I can carry that with me. It doesn't bother me. The next pouch would be an admin case, a couple of pens, everything else empty. But I have jammed in here my antenna analyzer. This, I think, is a critical tool to have with you, especially if you have an antenna like the River Coil. We're going to be adjusting that coil. I would rather use this than the finals on my FT817 to determine if I have an SWR problem or not. So, good tool to have in the field. Also, a little cable to connect that with, so I know that's with the analyzer all the time. So far, stuff I need to carry. Let's go up in the top here. Roll of electrical tape. roll of tape was used, last time I used it was when I put the link dipole up on the fiberglass extendable pole, and I put the N9TAX Slim Jim on it. It got a little heavy, so I taped the friction joints on the fiberglass pole, and also taped the cable to it so it didn't flop around in the breeze. So I guess this is a good thing to have with me. What do you got? Oh, this, I forgot I had this in here. This is the adapter kit for a Heil headset to use with the FT817. I don't typically bring the Heil headphone out, so this might be something that doesn't necessarily have to travel. Also, I'm thinking leaving it loose like this might be asking for trouble. A bungee cord. Yes. Now I'm starting to wonder why. Oh, here's a little Gerber multi-tool. You know, I guess the kind of thing you always should have, you'd probably kick yourself for not having, so that's why it's in there. Oh, and a Swiss Army knife. Never know when you're going to need one of those, right? And a piece of Velcro. Probably fell off of something else I'm working with. Now we're going to get into the meat of this bag, which is, I think, where we're going to find a lot of silliness going on. So let's just open the case all the way up, the backpack. Here we go. And there's a ton of stuff. Well, first of all, we find a couple of we got the MFJ 20-meter extendable whip for the back of the radio. I used this in the early days before I got all the other antennas. So, yeah. I guess I like to have it in here so I know where it is. Of course, this is the Yaesu antenna that comes with the FT817. I don't think I've ever used it, to be honest with you. All right, let's see what's in here. I don't even know what's in this pouch, so you'll find out with me. Oh, okay, so this is the Tim Ortiz linked dipole kit, and this is the way you get it. It comes in this little camo pouch, and I keep the antennas coiled up nicely inside that. This is, of course, one of the go-to antennas I use on a POTA activation. So, of course, this bag's going to get trimmed up a little bit here. But also, what's in this bag is anything that goes with that dipole. So that means 2 tent pegs to hold down each end with the bungee cords on them. And also, some of you know I made a little thing. This little piece of wood goes at the top of the extendable fiberglass pole, the little Shakespeare full pole that I use. So this all stays in there. I use bungees to hold everything together. So basically, inside this pouch is everything needed for the dipole deployment. What's also in here are a couple of these nye ties, gear ties. Might use this to hold the fiberglass pole somewhere on my truck. That's what I use these for. Or maybe if there's a fence pole nearby, I could strap it to that. If I'm not using that little stand that we talked about earlier. By the way, that Tim Ortiz antenna, outstanding. I've had zero trouble with it. I did a little tuning on it at the beginning, and that was it. So, great antenna. Very lightweight also. All right, let's keep working our way down. I don't know what this is. It looks like it was an experimental counterpoise. I don't know how long it is. I should probably measure that out and see if I even need it. Well, while we're talking about counterpoises, back in here, I've got a little jumper wire here. Again, I don't know why. In here, I've got let's see. I've got a random length wire. That goes with an antenna tuner I have in here. I haven't had a lot of success with those, but I carry it in there anyway. This is what is this? This is a counterpoise of, I can't see what it says. 16.5-foot counterpoise here. We'll continue. Oh, well, while we're in that compartment up here, we've got this little pouch with a bunch of little adapters in it. And by the way, I threw this in here too. We got an elbow, UHF elbow, UHF to B and C. I'm saying UHF. These are the SO239 or PL259 antennas, antenna connectors. Barrels, PL259 or an SO239 barrel. I got this thing at a Hamfest. If I can get it out. Got one of these at a Hamfest. Yet to use it. A couple other barrel connectors in there. So I always felt that better to have the better to have the adapters with you rather than needing one and not having one. A couple of short RG8X cables. I haven't gone to any of the lighter weight cable. I probably should, but I've had these. So these are a couple of short ones. This is a longer one, RG8X. I want to say this is probably in the neighborhood of 40 feet, probably. I would typically use this when I set up the Wolf River Coil, and I can set myself out at a picnic bench and just roll a cable out. Just recognize this, a throw line. I can tell you this, when I've done every POTA activation I've done, I have never thrown a wire up into the tree. The last time I used this is actually when I was running putting my dipole up here at the house, my off-center fed dipole. So I don't know if I need to be carrying this anymore. This is a leftover from last year's field day when I ran yet another random length wire antenna. And it worked, actually. I had a lot of success with this on field day, on 40 meters. But again, I don't know if it's something I need to be carrying out to a park. Inside this little Audix microphone pouch, let's see what we have in here. I don't even remember what's in here. Oh, okay, this is the land of counterpoises. We've got, this one's unmarked, I don't know how long it is. And I've got my 33-foot counterpoise, which is nothing more than a piece of speaker wire ripped in half. So I've got a 16.5 and a 33-foot counterpoise. I'm thinking about changing my counterpoise situation with the Wolf River and going to 3 33-footers. So that's going to be a rethink, and I'll probably change that. There's a little tuner. This tuner actually works, the SST T1. I've had this thing for years. It works. I used it on field day with the random length wire, and it worked fine. So again, I don't use the random length when I'm at a park, when I'm doing a POTA activation. So this might be a rethink, whether to carry it all the time or not. I did a video on this guy. Little vice grip, and some of you are quick to point out I spelled vice wrong on the video title, thank you. A little vice grip antenna mount. I tried it, but I think I screwed up how I assembled it, so I have to redo that. It was worth a test. I'm going to give it another try. Do I need to carry it all the time for POTA? Maybe, because I may be able to just put the whip with the Wolf River Coil in the back of the truck. That'd be like a winter months kind of thing, so we'll see. These are the Wolf River Coil tripod legs. These are the shorter ones. I've decided I'm going to get the longer ones because if you've watched enough of my videos, you've seen the antenna topple over a couple of times. So this might get, these might get rethunk also. Little wood stand that I made when I first got the FT817 to prop it up. Works fine. So I kind of carry it around me. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. Because now I can prop it up in that Harbor Freight bag. Now here's the thing you're going to laugh at. I'm carrying one of my SLAs with me as a backup battery. Now let's think about that. I went the entire field day operation, all 20-something hours of it, with the radio on, and was running a couple of devices, one of these, and this thing hardly moved. So I'm thinking I'm going to use the Bio-Eno as my main battery. If I see myself going out for a longer outing, I think that's when these guys will get reactivated. Right now, I don't think I'm going to be carrying them all the time. There's just a lot of weight that goes. I keep them in this little compartment down here, so no metal touches the battery contacts. One last section is up in this portion of the backpack here. Feels like there's a coil of wire in this. I don't know what it's for, so join me. Oh, this looks like another counterpoise of some sort. I don't know how long it is. So, yeah. Now let's take a look and see what's inside this PVC tube. This is something I came up with a couple of years ago, early on in my QRP adventures. I put a little handle on this thing. I needed a place to keep the Wolf River Coil and the MFJ vertical in a safe place. And because the tube was a little bigger than I needed, I was actually able to do a little more with it. So first thing that's in here is the Wolf River Coil. So let's take that out and look at that, how I have that set up. Stole this idea from Mike K8MRD. Put the little elbow on the bottom of it, makes a big difference setting it up. Wolf River Coil, we're all familiar with what this looks like. And I can leave the MFJ, I guess it's a 17-foot whip, mounted on it all the time. So this travels together as one piece. And also in here is this is the little Wonder Pole, the Shakespeare Wonder Pole. And it's been great. It's only like $25, and it's worked beautifully for me. So I use it when I use the link dipole is what I use it for, or I'll throw the Slim Jim up on it, or both. But it's worked fine. Very lightweight. It's a little awkward having this tube. I'm finding to be a little awkward. It's a little big to carry, but I haven't found like a bag large enough that I can just throw these things in. Although I'd be afraid of that because it really doesn't protect the coil all that much. And the last thing is, and this is kind of new to me, I used it first time last year at Field Day, and it's actually the only time I used it. And this is just a way, I got the idea from Tracy up there in Canada on Outdoors on the Air, and this was to make like a little tube that's freestanding. These little ropes, and with some tent pegs, guy this tube. And I guy it to the ground, and I can drop the Wonder Pole into it, and it works. It actually held the antenna up fine. In fact, I had a thunderstorm on Field Day, and I mean, I brought everything down, obviously, when the wind kicked up. But this thing held up just fine. So I may use this. This is something I think that's handy to carry with me. So there's everything I carry. I realized halfway through making this video that there's at least a half a dozen things I don't need to carry with me to a POTA activation or even to any other mobile setup somewhere. It's just extra stuff that I just don't need. I might be able to set up a go bag and leave it in the truck to have all the extra stuff I might need, like, you know, connectors, maybe some extra cables or something like that. But for stuff I would actually carry to a site, I think I've got way too much with me. Certainly that extra SLA battery is not going to travel with me. I think like the vice grip mount and things like that, I don't need to carry. Things like throwing that weight into a tree, you're not going to do that in a park. You know, typically the park rangers kind of frown upon things like that. So I'm thinking it's a lighter weight approach to me. Maybe not even using that backpack anymore. I may go to a different kind of bag, make it easier to carry everything. So, hey, let me know your thoughts. You know, I have a lot of stuff to sort out here yet. I definitely want to go with the 3 33-foot counterpoises for the River Coil and see how that works for me. I've always used one, and I have had good luck with it, but I want to go with 3 and try that for a while. But let me know what you think. I know a lot of you that watch these things do some POTA activations, and be curious to see what your thoughts are, what you carry. You think I'm going overboard with having backup gear? I probably am. So also, if you like the video, just click like. I really appreciate that. And that'll kind of give me ideas on whether to keep going with these sorts of videos tonight. And also, if you like what you see on the channel, click subscribe. That's always encouraging all of us YouTubers, you know, to see people that are really supporting what we're doing. So again, here it is. It's time to get the gear ready to go out and do some field operations. So take an inventory, see all the stuff you carry. Thanks for watching. Until next time, 73 from K2 CJB.